2K is wilding out. 2K is wilding out. I can't believe what I've seen today. On Twitter, I guess on YouTube also, that's up to you where you watched it. WWE 2K Dev put out the new Spotlight episode, and it showed off the unique backstage areas that were added to the game this year, and boy, what is that? I have never in my life. So there's been a bunch of new additions to the backstage. You guys knew that. I told you about that earlier in the year when we got invited out to the Dev Summit. They said that they made the backstage area like 3 times as big as it was last year. Like that's pretty big. You know, last year there wasn't a lot to do in it, but it was pretty big. Now they made it 3 times bigger. They added a bunch of different areas, and there's just a couple of key things here that I saw that just make this so incredible. So first off, they show off Cesaro and Seth Rollins backstage, which is, I believe actually they did this last year in screenshots, if I remember correctly, and in a little video, they showed off Cesaro and Seth Rollins backstage, if I'm remembering this correctly. So they keeping the tradition alive, doing it again. So the first place that we see in this video is they're just in gorilla position. Seen this last year, it's pretty much more or less the same. So moving on to the next part of it, this is very similar to the screenshot that we saw last year, or the gameplay that we saw last year. They did the OMG moment backstage, if I'm remembering this correctly, from WWE 2K18. So now this next one that we're in is they're in the hallway, which we also got last year. And it looks like there's some additional stuff on the tables. You can see the tailor place right there where you would talk to your tailor in 2K My Career, because we saw the screenshots that show that you're going to be roaming around backstage and you can go up to the tailor, and I assume that you can change your attire, and that's how you change it instead of doing the whole menu thing. So you can see that there's stuff back there. There's a chair in the hallway. There's some stuff there in the hallway. So moving on, we're in Triple H's office, and Triple H is just DC chilling here behind the table. I don't know what's going on. My man's like, you know, you guys can fight it out. Just go ahead and just beat the heck out of him, man. That sounds good to me. Yeah, I have no problem with that. Now moving on, we have catering, which is brand new to the game. You got some food there on the table. It's gonna be cool to see if we can interact with the food on the table. You know, the hot plates and all that. I don't know how far they're gonna go into that, how far the interaction is gonna go into that. But it does leave a lot of opportunity to do something with it, like pour in Cesaro's head into some hot soup. That'd be pretty crazy. Moving on, we have another office. This looks like the authority office again, from what it looks like on the door back there. But there's this really big T-Rex head, or dinosaur head. I'm not too sure if it's T-Rex head. Dinosaur head painting in the back. And for some reason that sticks out to me as something that you would be able to interact with, because it's so huge. Look at this. It takes up like most of the wall. It's the biggest painting in the room. I feel like that might have something to interact with. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, you know. I'm just thinking out loud. I think that you could do that. There's a table in the middle with 2 little rolling chairs. I think you'd be able to do something with. But anyways, moving on, we go back to the locker room, and Seth and Cesaro are fighting. And look at this. Look at what we are looking at. Look with your eyes. Treadmills. There are treadmills in the game, for the love of God. Oh my God, I used to mention this so much that I missed the arcadey stuff in the last game. If you can run on those treadmills, even as like an Easter egg, even if you can't get the finisher from running on the treadmills like the old games, if I can just run, just let me run. Run, let me run. If I can get on that treadmill and I can run, I will lose my mind. That would just be such a cool little Easter egg, because I understand it's not the direction they want, but man, that would be so cool just as an Easter egg. I was so excited when I saw the treadmills, man. Just imagine if you got your finisher though, wouldn't it be dang? Ah! All right, so moving on, we're backstage again. We're in some area. I can't really tell what it is. It goes by a little name here, but I can't tell what that says. The quality's not too great, what I'm looking at right now, but nonetheless, Cesaro and Seth Rollins are climbing some sort of scaffolding. So they're gonna get to the top from the looks of it, and then they can fight, and then you can knock them off or toss them off, from what I expect, which is awesome, because I used to love doing that in the old games. If you guys remember my Here Comes the Pain walkthrough, when we got on top of the cage backstage and I just ran right off of it. I love stuff like that. I love having the opportunity to do stuff like that. There's also, it looks like there's a person in the window there. It looks like it, at least. I can't really tell. So anyways, that's pretty cool. So moving on, we're backstage again, and we're on top of a limousine. We're fighting on top of a limousine. Now, if this was the older games and you got on top of a limousine, you know what you'd be able to do, right? You'd probably be able to power bomb them through the sunroof on the limousine, and then they come out the car door. To me, that sounds like something that would happen if you saw, or if someone said, "Oh, look, there's a limousine with a sunroof in a WWE game." Okay, so I'm gonna power bomb him through the sunroof, and he's gonna come out the car door. That just sounds like an old SmackDown thing to me. I doubt that's gonna happen, but man, that would be really cool. I just think it's cool that you can get on top of the limousine. I mean, there's so much. I mean, from the screenshot so far, there's so much cool stuff that you can do here. So, and then we're by the 18-wheeler, and Cesaro is hitting Seth Rollins with this box. But that's not what you need to be looking at. Don't look at the box. Look at the ladder in the back. Look at the ladder in the back. You can climb on top of this rig. You can climb on top of it. You can fight on top of this rig. It's time. It's time. We can... I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because all this is doing is making me... is reminiscing about the arcade days of the WWE games, where you used to be able to do ridiculous stuff, ride a motorcycle around, grab people and drag them, get on top of an 18-wheeler and toss them off, do a 5-star frog splash off the top of the 18-wheeler. It just reminds me of those days, and I love those days so much. As you guys know, I play through the Day of Reckoning series. I play through SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, Just Bring It. I love playing the old games because of stuff like that. That gameplay to me is so fun. It fits my personality so much, and it's just part of my... it's like one of my favorite things in the world. So seeing this is awesome. Seeing this stuff is awesome. I don't know... He said in the video that we're not going to be showing off gameplay. He wants us to experience it ourselves. But I kind of want to see gameplay, because I want to see what we can do with this stuff, because this is next level stuff to me. This is next... I mean, is this not next level stuff to everybody else? Because I was feeling... When I saw this, because someone tweeted me, and they said, "Hey, check out the new 2K dev video," because I completely missed it. It didn't even pop up on my feed for me. So anyways, I went back and I checked it, and the first thing that made me lose my mind was the treadmills. The treadmills was nuts. Seeing that was nuts. But the second thing that made me lose my mind was seeing the ladder on the 18-wheeler, because I just don't expect stuff like that anymore with this game, to be honest. You know, I kind of threw all of my expectations for where I wanted the series to go out the window, and then they come back and they just reel me back in. They threw it out with the bobber. They put on treadmills and ladders on 18-wheelers on the hook, and of course, I just came running. I said, let me figure out what's going on back here. So there's a lot of stuff that interests me. I mean, even if you want to go to the new catering section, what I'm hoping is that you can interact with some of the stuff. It would really, really suck if you couldn't interact with a lot of the stuff in the background, you know, backstage stuff, because that would just, what's the point? You know, and that's what's scaring me a little bit too, is like, I don't want to get too hyped and then we go to catering and then you can't interact with any of the stuff, or like you go on the 18-wheeler and all you can do is fight on top of the 18-wheeler. You can't toss anybody off the 18-wheeler or something like that. You know, that's in the back of my head, because I know the direction this series has gone into, and I know that these are things that aren't exactly what they want out of the new 2K game. So I know what they want, and I know what I want. And I know that they do not coincide. They do not whatsoever. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how they kind of decide to take the backstage area. I mean, the treadmills, man. You know how many times I was at the 2K offices and mentioned the treadmills? I don't even, there's no way you would know, but it was a lot. It was a lot. That was one, whenever they asked me, I'm like, yes, I want stuff like that. I wanted to be able to fight on top of 18-wheelers. I want to be able to run on treadmills and get my finisher. Those are the those are the games I grew up with, and those are the kind of games that I enjoy. I enjoy the 2K games for what they are now, but there will always just be a part of my heart that just absolutely loves the arcade style of wrestling games, and I will absolutely always miss stuff like that, always. So I'm hoping maybe they can mix it up a little bit. You know, take their love, take my love, put them together, make one big heart. So anyways, if you guys want to tell me what you think down in the comments, are you hyped for any of the stuff that you saw today? No gameplay, but a bunch of little flyby screenshots. You can tell me down in the comments below. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Remember, if you did, to leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you guys are not subscribed for more of that goodness on my channel. And I will see you guys next time. See you!